Hi people, it's me, Anya. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for my June TBR, which I am refilming because yesterday my phone informed me that I didn't have enough storage to export the longer version, so here I am with the shorter version. Anyway, these are all the books that happened to come out in June on my Goodreads want to read list, so let's get started. The first book on this list is called Lovesick Falls. I'm excited for this book because it's a YA queer retelling of As You Like It, and it's written by an author I trust. That's it. The next book on this list is called The Beautiful Maddening. I'm hesitant but excited to read this book because A, it's written by an author I trust, there's a pattern here, and second of all, it's a YA contemporary fantasy that follows a young main character who's navigating her family's love curse that explodes in flowers. So I'm very intrigued by that synopsis. The next book on this list is called Atmosphere. This story is an adult historical fiction set during the 1980s Space Shuttle program. And honestly, that's all I need to know. It's written by the same author who wrote Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six. So, yeah. The next book on this list is called I'll Pretend You're Mine, and here are the factors as to why I'm excited for this book. It has fake dating, letting go of abusive parents, and I think the romance is between a fictional celebrity single and a fictional celebrity actor, so I'm excited for that dynamic. The next book on this list is called Never Thought I'd End Up Here. I'm excited but nervous for this book. Excited because it's a YA contemporary, nervous because it follows a main character who seeks revenge on somebody, and I don't really enjoy revenge stories, but I suspect that her love interest is that same guy, so I'm excited to see how that dynamic will play out. The next book on this list is called The Best Worst Summer of Esme's Son. This book is a middle-grade contemporary, which is why I'm excited for it, and I'm nervous for it because I've never read anything before by this author, but I'm excited because one of my favorite authors, the author of Good Different, rated it 5 stars. So, yeah. The next book on this list is called A Forgery of Fate. I'm excited but nervous for this book because A, I'm excited because it's a YA fantasy retelling of Beauty and the Beast. B, I'm nervous because the majority of the reason why I picked up this book at all is because of the pretty cover. So let's see if that pretty cover matches the inside. The next book on this list is called Ale of Storms. I'm excited for this book because it's a YA fantasy following a young main character with powerful magic that's now dormant, and she's hidden from the public until she enters a cutthroat competition. But I'm nervous for this book because the author is completely new to me. The next book on this list is called The Forest in the Sky. I'm excited for this book, like really excited for this book, because it's a middle-grade fantasy sequel. I don't really think that I'm nervous for this book at all, because I trust the author's reputation. I really enjoyed the first 2 books in this trilogy. The next book on this list is called Tempest. I'm excited for this book because it's a YA black urban fantasy, and the main character has elemental powers, and I'm very intrigued as to what the title is referring to, because I'm curious if it's referring to the play or if it's just referring to like a storm or whatever. Second of all, I'm nervous for this book because I don't know what to expect. The next book on this list is called Nobody in Particular. I'm nervous about this book because the synopsis reminds me of Her Royal Highness, but the synopsis is a YA contemporary following a disgraced princess who falls for a new girl at an all-girls boarding school. And yeah, I'm excited for the queerness, but that's it. The next book on this list is called Dan and Green Gables. I'm excited for this book because it's a YA contemporary retelling of Anne of Green Gables, and it's also a graphic novel. But I'm nervous for this book because I'm not quite sure what to expect, but I do trust the author's reputation. The next book on this list is called The Incorruptibles. I'm excited for this book because it's a middle-grade fantasy following a young main character who joins the human resistance against sorcerer tyranny, which seems very interesting, but I'm nervous for this book because I have no idea what to expect, and the author is completely new to me. The next book on this list is called Lady or the Tiger. I'm excited for this book because it's a YA historical fiction, Wild West murder mystery, and so it follows a young main character who discovers that one of her first victims, her abusive husband, whom she thought she killed, is actually alive, but I'm nervous because this author is completely new to me. The next book on this list is called Amelia If Only. I'm very excited for this book and not nervous at all because I trust Becky, and she previously wrote Imogen Obviously, which I really enjoyed. This book is a YA sapphic contemporary, and honestly, I don't remember the synopsis because that's all I need to know. The next book on this list is called Vesuvius. I'm excited for this book because it's queer. I'm nervous for this book because I've been informed that it's more romantically driven than a historical thriller. So, yeah, but I'm excited because it's gay. I'm nervous because of everything else. The next book on this list is called Love Misha. This story is a YA contemporary urban fantasy graphic novel, and it's queer, and I'm excited for the queerness, and I believe it follows a young non-binary main character on a road trip with their unsupportive parent, and basically they end up somewhere fantastical and get lost together. So I'm excited to see how they will find their way out. The next book on this list is called The Tournament. I'm excited for this book because it's a YA contemporary thriller following 3 seniors who are competing in their private school's annual tournament. I'm nervous for this book because I think that I've read many books before by this author, and the last one I rated 3 stars. The next book on this list is called Sounds Like Love. I'm excited for this book because it's an adult contemporary magical realism, and it follows a songwriter with writer's block and a musician who have the same earworm, which, by the way, is a song stuck in your head. And I'm excited for this book because I loved The 7-Year Slip, but I'm nervous for this book because after that, all of the books got worse. The next book on this list is called The Blood Phoenix. I'm excited for this book because it's a YA fantasy sequel to Of Jade and Dragons, but I'm nervous for this book because apparently it's set 2 years later. So I'm of the mind that sequel should be set within 6 months of the original book. So yeah, there you have it. The next book on this list is called If We Survive This. I'm excited for this book because it's a YA thriller horror zombie apocalypse book following a sapphic main character leading a group of survivors or something like that. But I'm nervous for it because I typically don't really enjoy zombie apocalyptic books. The next book on this list is called We Could Be Magic. I'm excited for this book because it's a YA contemporary graphic novel following a plus-size main character who's working at a theme park for the summer. I'm excited for this book because it seems to have everything I love. A summer job, friends to lovers, etc. And I don't remember why I'm nervous for this book, so there's that. The penultimate book on this list is called The Treachery of Swans. I'm nervous for this book because it's a YA gothic fantasy sapphic retelling of Swan Lake, and historically I don't enjoy gothic fantasies, but I do enjoy queer books, so I'm excited for the sapphic elements and nervous for everything else. The last book on this list is called Silverborn. I'm very excited for this book because it's one of my most anticipated 2025 new releases, because I've been waiting for this book to come out for the past 4 years, and that factor honestly does not make me nervous at all. So with that said, I know I'm going to rate this book 5 stars. I know that I'm going to eat it up. It's going to be brilliant, it's going to be excellent, it's going to be so fantastic. So with that said, I'm very super excited for it. So in conclusion, historically, I've felt like my TBR videos are so redundant, so maybe this video wasn't, and it felt more honest and more transparent. Some of these books I might rate 3 stars, others I might rate 4 stars, others I might rate 5 stars, and others I might DNF, and those will not show up in future recent reads videos. So anyway, in conclusion, if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the bunny emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.